Am I the asshole for kicking my boyfriend's girl best friend out at my Halloween party because of her costume? I, 19 female, had a Halloween party over the weekend. I invited my boyfriend, 21 male, and a bunch of our friends over, including his girl best friend. I will call her Agatha. My boyfriend and I had decided to dress up as Peter Pumpkin Eater. If you haven't seen the costume, the guy wears a shirt that says Peter, and the girl dresses as a pumpkin because, well, you know. I was pretty excited just because I thought it was really funny and a cute costume.
That's funny.
Agatha texted me the night before the party and asked what my costume was going to be. I explained the couple's costume my boyfriend and I would be wearing, and she replied that she would probably come as a sexy cat. Fast forward to the night of the party. Everyone is having fun and a nice time. Well, it was until Agatha walked in dressed as a pumpkin. She went over and hugged my boyfriend. I swear the room went silent. I was pissed. I asked if I could speak with her privately, and we went into my bedroom. I asked why she chose that costume since she knew the details of the joint costume between me and my boyfriend. She said that she didn't see the big deal and thought it would be a better group costume. I told her I didn't think it was funny and I would prefer that she change. I offered her a witch costume that she could borrow for the night. She turned red and started to yell that I don't get to control what she wears. I told her that she was disrespecting my relationship by insinuating that my boyfriend and her have sex. She kept screaming about how it was funny and I needed to lighten up. I ended up asking her to leave. She stormed out of the house and I returned to the party. The mood had shifted and the night felt ruined. My boyfriend agrees that she crossed the line and is planning on cutting her off completely. But a few of our friends are saying that I was being dramatic and I should have let her stay. I guess I'm just wondering, am I the asshole?
No. This one triggered me. Hee hee.
So there's an edit or a reply to a comment about moving forward. We are currently texting about how to move forward. He wants to completely cut her off because of this. It was completely out of character, so I'm wondering, could it be a one-time thing? She has never shown interest before, and she has normally been really kind. Sometimes people make mistakes, like me blowing up completely, but I'm letting him make the decision completely on his own. I'm not pushing him one direction or the other. It really seems like he is done with the friendship and with whoever said I was wrong.
Good. I love that.
So this was on October 30th. And there is an update. There's an update coming November 17th. He is no longer friends with her. She showed her true colors and they are no longer speaking. And then another update comes February 21st.
Whoa.
3 months later. Well, I have an update. I meant to post one a few months ago, but I really needed time to process the events that occurred after this whole ordeal. I'm glad I waited though, because you all need to hear this one. Many people pointed out that my boyfriend must be sleeping with Agatha, since she went absolutely bonkers for seemingly no reason. I thought since he immediately took my side and blocked her on everything that you were wrong. Well, it was me who was wrong. Turns out that Agatha and my boyfriend had been sleeping together for months, and they were just really good at hiding it, until she decided that she didn't want to be his mistress anymore. I found this out when I was at home hanging out in his room. He was showering after workout and I heard this vibrating noise. He had taken his phone and mine was right next to me, so I couldn't figure out what it was. I opened the bedside table drawer and found a second phone. My gut told me that something wasn't right. Why would he have a second phone? It didn't take me very long to guess his password. Turned out to be 1234. My fears were confirmed. There was a missed call from Agatha. I looked through the messages and found out the truth. Not only had they been sleeping together, but she recently found out that she was pregnant. This was the reason she pulled the stunt on Halloween. She was trying to force his hand. I also saw that he was messaging other girls as well. I was completely devastated. After his shower, he found me grabbing all my belongings and putting them in my bag. He asked why I was leaving, and I told him because we were finished. I threw his phone on the bed and he looked like he was going to vomit. He started pleading with me to hear him out, but I didn't want to hear it. He could have all those other girls. I didn't want him anymore. He followed me out of the house, shaking and crying. He even followed me all the way out to my car, trying to block my path. I went over the grass around him and didn't look back. He sent me a long message about how he never wanted to hurt me. that he wanted me back, and how he is using his work phone to text all of these women so I wouldn't find out. That was really helpful. I sent his boss a nice little message about how company property was being misused, and I saw on LinkedIn he no longer works for that company anymore. He is blocked on everything now. I hope him and Agatha have a magical life with their baby. Oh, I heard through the grapevine that he got one of the other women pregnant too. I'm glad I dodged that bullet. As for me, I am currently in therapy working on my trust issues and learning how to love again after this situation. I've been putting myself out there again and have cut contact with anyone who knew what was happening behind my back. Thank you all for the love and support.
I just love a good karma story.
Am I the asshole for telling my sister that her child isn't special? We don't have to plan every family gathering around him. I'm 27 and my sister is a few years older with a 2-year-old son. Ever since she had her child, everything in our family seems to revolve around him. I get that.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, though.
That's kind of what's going to happen. And listen, as someone who is now an uncle, yeah, I can kind of...
That's the thing. It's like, yes, and why are you upset about it? But...
I can understand, but like,
if it's a lot,
I can understand, yeah.
Like if he means everything, then yeah,
yeah, it means literally everything, yeah.
I get that she's excited as a new mom and that her life has changed, but it's starting to really get on my nerves. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a little bad.
I get that she's excited as a new mom that her life has changed, but it's starting to really get on my nerves. Every single family gathering we have is planned solely around her child. Every single family gathering we have is planned solely around her child.
Okay.
If we're organizing a holiday, it has to fit his nap schedule.
I mean...
If we choose a location, it has to be quote-unquote kid-friendly.
Okay, fuck you. Hold on. That, like, okay.
The food always has to include something quote-unquote safe for him, even if the rest of us would prefer something else. That was my first inclination, that I'm like, they're not just adding food. But I'm like, why would everyone eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
At the same time, that's fair, yeah.
Why wouldn't, like, you can have a curry and then your kid has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
As the whole point of a kid's menu.
It's like half and half, like, I can understand, but also, like, that's, yeah, your kid needs to nap, and it is kind of smart to work around that schedule, yeah.
Especially if it's a big holiday, kid's part of the family, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even have normal conversations with my family anymore because they always end up turning into discussions about her kid. What he did, how he acted, how the doctor's appointment went, or what new word he learned. Every story my sister tells seems to conclude with the idea that her son is the most amazing, extraordinary child ever. I'm happy for her, but it feels like everyone else in the family has become background noise in her quote-unquote child-centered show.
Okay, well, that's...
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's like you're going a little too far for my taste of, like...
Yeah. It's not like he's mad at the kid. He's mad at his sister.
Yeah, mad at the sister, but like the way you're going about it makes it really seem like you fucking hate that kid. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
And I don't think he does. I think it's just he doesn't like. He wants to have a one-on-one shit with his sister.
Yeah, and like,
or like if we're just with his family.
Yeah,
and not
I
with
can
the
understand
kid.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
But still.
A few days ago, I suggested we all go out for dinner one evening at a restaurant so we could finally have some adult time, just relax and talk without constantly worrying about her son's needs. My sister immediately shot it down, saying it didn't fit with her son's schedule because his bath time routine includes a bath, dinner, and then sleep. This wasn't the first time plans got rejected for that reason, but this time I decided to speak up. I told her that her child is in the center of the universe and that we don't need to plan every single family gathering around his schedule. I suggested that maybe she could come to just one event on her own and leave the child with her husband or a babysitter so we can enjoy some time without any limitations. Okay, saying your child is in the center of the universe is like obvious to me. You saying it makes a judgment that she thinks that.
Yeah, that's when that's never been brought up until this point.
Unless she literally has said, my child is the center of my universe. But even then, it's like
if you say universe, my universe,
of the universe, no,
that's a little
right. You just can't imagine going to a new mom and being like, "You're too obsessed with your kid. You're too into your kid, man." She flipped out. She said I was heartless, that I don't understand how hard it is to be a mother, and that I'm an ungrateful sibling who doesn't appreciate her sacrifices. She claimed I treat her child like a burden when for her he's the most important person in her life. Also, burden was quoted. Since then, we haven't spoken, and now my parents are saying I went too far and that I should apologize because being a parent is a huge responsibility, and my sister has every right to expect support.
This is all weird.
On one hand, I understand that her child is her priority, but on the other, I feel like this has gone too far and that as a family, we shouldn't constantly have to give up our plans and enjoyment just because her kid has a schedule. Am I really the asshole for wanting to occasionally have a normal family gathering without always catering to the needs of a toddler? Am I the asshole?
Would I be the asshole for uninviting my dad from our house until he stops calling it an apartment?
Okay.
My husband and I, both in our 30s, bought our first house last year. It's an end terrace in a major city, meaning it's small compared to countryside houses and shares a wall to another house. It's a house in our contract and the bank valuation by common sense by all definitions. My family is from the countryside. As soon as my dad saw the plans of the house, he started referring to it as an apartment and thought it was super funny. Because everyone knows jokes. I thought it was weird, but knowing him, I just chuckled and moved on with conversation. Then it became a thing. He only ever referred to it as an apartment. I didn't laugh at it anymore, just said, "Come on, Dad, it's a house." But I didn't make a big deal and moved on. One day we had a phone conversation. He again called it an apartment mid-conversation. I said, "Dad, it's not an apartment, it's a house," and let some silence hang in the air.
Yeah.
It got awkward and he laughed it off, saying, "Of course I know that. I don't mean anything by it." Then I said, "Then please call it a house. You're being impolite." Okay. Now he makes it a joke to overcorrect himself. He talks about our quote, "Oh no, I mean the house, ha ha ha," while making faces. Not great, but I'm just exhausted at this point. Please note, he has never visited the house because he lives so far away. We usually visit him. He's only seen it on images. So last weekend, he stayed over for his first visit. It was a nice weekend apart from me ignoring his jokes and some other quirks of his, but overall pleasant. Then yesterday, it was my grandma's birthday, his mom. My whole family was there, 50 people, apart from me due to the distance. I called my grandma in the evening and she asked me, "Did you move? I thought you bought a house last year." "No, still living in our same house. Why?" "Your dad's told everyone that you live in an apartment now." I then talked to Grandpa, who, for the first time, started referring to our house as an apartment. I later had my mom and uncle on the phone who always referred to it as a house, but now call it an apartment. And my mom told my dad he even goes so far as to call it a chicken den to her and my sisters because he finds it so ridiculous. Apparently, it's still the funniest joke to him, but the rest of the family takes it as a fact. I'm fed up. I want to tell him that he's not invited anymore until he starts being respectful. But whenever I have an opinion, I'm being hysterical and in the wrong. My husband is Teflon. He thinks my dad is not very bright about social cues and I should not argue with an idiot. But I'm not as unfazed as he's by this kind of stuff.
Right.
So would I be the asshole if I tell him to leave me alone and not stay over again until he changes his attitude?
So, I mean, yeah, everyone knows my advice is gaslight your dad. And gaslight everyone else into thinking your dad is senile.
Yeah.
1,000%. Be
Yeah.
like, "Do you live in an apartment now?" "No, I live in a house." "Oh, your dad is telling everyone you live in an apartment." "Oh, he's old.
He's getting old, man.
He just doesn't understand." I keep having to correct him about it.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. He's getting up there in age.
Yeah.
It's early onset, you know. Like, just keep doing that and wait and see until the family hears back and is like, he hears back and then he calls you angrily.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, "Well, I mean, you keep, like, I do genuinely think you're losing your mind,
yeah,
father."
because you're like continuously doing this over and over and over again.
Would I be the asshole for not following a dress code at a bachelorette? My friend is having her bachelorette in 2 weeks. I am currently 6 months pregnant. Tonight, a bridesmaid put on the group chat that we will all need to be in Barbie pink so the bride can wear white and stand out. Ever since I started showing, I have had a nightmare with getting clothes to fit. I've tried 6 maternity shops, but nothing has sat right on me. I think because I'm really tall, the bump part of the clothes doesn't fall on where my bump is.
Oh, okay.
I've settled for having 4 stretchy knit dresses that I fit into. These are all dark and not pink. I messaged the bridesmaid and said I'm going to really struggle to find an outfit in Barbie pink as almost nothing has fit me.
Yeah.
She said this isn't about me.
And
if I cared about the bride, I'd make it work. Edit. I've been told to add in that just pink accessories has been vetoed as not counting towards the dress code by the bridesmaid.
Wait, really?
Yes.